Hello there and welcome. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations, and you know what? I am going to play today, and I'm taking you along with me. I got a new set of watercolors for Christmas. Now, these are more expensive watercolors than I've ever had. Usually, I'm just using the cheap ones that I can get. But I asked for these for Christmas because maybe somebody else wanted to, maybe somebody else loved me and wanted to spend that money on me. I'm just looking, kind of going, don't throw that sheet out. That's my color chart. So these are Kuretake paints and Kuretake Gansai Tambi paints. This one is, so it says that this is traditional Japanese pan watercolors for professional artists and crafters. Crafter, not a professional artist. And says it's recognized because of its vivid color and quick dissolution. All right, well, we're gonna play. I think these are better watercolors than I've ever had. And they just have cool colors, unlike things I've ever had. And I've never had metallics before. So we've got like, some really soft pinks and pastels. And so we're going to play with this. And we're going to do a technique that is perfect for me, beginner watercolor, and maybe for you too, if that's the case, because we don't have to know what the heck we're doing. And when we add details to it, we don't have to be able to draw. So it's called mark making. It's kind of similar to what we did for the reverse coloring book. And I'm going to drop in the link to the reverse coloring book video. But with that, we were sort of looking for shapes and outlining and adding details and, maybe turning things into things. We're not turning this into anything. It doesn't have to be anything. And we can make marks wherever we want, however we want. So we don't have to be able to paint and we don't have to be able to draw. We just get to play. Perfect. Now you don't need to have this watercolor set to be able to do this, to play along with me. So just because I'm getting it to play with, you can just get out anything that you have and play along. I'm going to turn you overhead so that you can see what I'm doing. But I'm going to get started because some of it has to dry before I can do the next part. So there. I have my paper taped down to a board just so that if I get it really wet, it's going to kind of stay in place. But as much as I have these new, better watercolors than I've ever had, I am using dollar store paper. So there's a balance happening. Now I've kind of lightly spritzed the watercolor palette, and I don't know, let's try this color. I could look and see what it says the color is, but that would be too easy. Okay. So really what this is we're creating a base that we're going to add to. And I just thought it would be easiest to kind of do this with maybe some kind of geometric shapes, just so that, again, if you are someone, like me, who is not an artist, it gives you an idea that we really don't need to be able to draw. So I'm just going to kind of add in, and you can see these are more intense, these are more faded because I have less pigment on my brush by that time. So far I'm thinking that's okay. Because you know what? It's mine and I can do what I want. Oh, that had either very little pigment or that's a very pale color. I think it's a very pale color. Maybe come back and drop some in on that later. So I figure I'm just doing a couple of each color to start and see where that takes. Well, no. Now I'm adding another little light lilac here. And let me go back in and pick up a little bit more of that color to drop in. And you can see, you know, I've got the bleeding happening here, and that's cool. I'm loving the look of that. I think I might want to go back and get a little bit more of that pink for this one. Give it a little bit more oomph. And maybe the same of that blue that I used. All right, what's another good color? I think I'm in pastel mode here, so let's kind of look for some other pastel colors that we could take advantage of. Now, not looking at filling the whole page, but really what I'm looking at doing is getting these shapes on in a configuration that is appealing to me, and then letting it dry. Okay, I think I'm good. I think that's enough. I'm gonna let this dry. You can see I tried to create a little bit of balance with the colors so that it wasn't, you know, only green down here. We've kind of added them wherever. But I like the balance of this. I like the composition. So we're gonna let this dry and see what we can come up with in the next stage. For this next step, you can use anything. You can use a combination of markers and pencils and pencil crayons and paint markers, whatever you have. And that's the fun part of it. So this is the marking part. You're just going to add in various marks and designs that make sense to you. Now, you can also use little stencils. You can ink up stamps and stamp over your design. It's yours. You get to do whatever. Now, this is the only little tiny mini stencil that I have. I have no little ones. But I'm wondering if I can kind of take some ink. The ink wouldn't stamp down there on its own. That's not going to work. What else would work? Would you work? Oh, much better. Okay, so this is just some stamping ink that I have and a little makeup sponge that I use for inking up edges. And I'm just adding a little flower. Now I feel like I'm kind of working in the flower mode, so we'll see how this goes. So I'm just going to draw one little squiggle line, I'm just going to add little leaves on it. Okay, so far I'm digging it. I have to be careful not to smudge my way through that. I have some little metallic markers. I don't even know what these look like. Okay, sort of metallic-y. And really, so here's what you do, is you just start adding in little marks. Anything that you want to do, anything that you feel you can do. There's no right or wrong. And like check marks. I mean, come on. That took no talent. That was nothing. And just kind of play. Just kind of play. So here I have, these are little Tombow paint markers. So they've got a fine tip, sort of, and a paintbrush tip. So you get to kind of choose what you want to do with that one. But and you don't have to do something in everything. So you don't have to make marks everywhere, and you could just simply, are you doing anything? You're just too thin, maybe. So, and maybe that's all that you want to do, is just some little hash lines there, and that's it, right? So there's nothing that says you have to go everywhere. I'm thinking, I just want to balance off that black. And I thought it might be cool to go do some little elements here and there that go outside of our design too. Because why not? And when you think you're done, you're done. It's your call on this. Now, what I'm thinking, I don't know why I did a border around it. It just happened. It just came. And because I have so much paper around this, I'm going to do what's called decaling the edges. Now, if I try and tear my paper up, then I'm going to get rough edges showing this side. So I'm going to want to, maybe about a quarter. maybe a full inch on this side. So I'm going to want to do it this way. And you're going to want to put a lot of pressure, go slow, and pull it back toward the ruler. And see how there's this rough edge there? On this side, you're not going to get that. So here I need just a baby amount on this side. You got to have enough there to do something with. Let's see if I have enough on here. If I left myself room. All right, that's okay. And there, that's my finished picture. The idea with today's video is really to play. I mean, I wanted to play with the new watercolor colors, and I did a couple of other things off camera that I'll keep working on. But the video that I did with you guys was really simple. It was keeping it simple. It was, we just did some shapes and then we did some little lines. Because I did the decal edges, I didn't put it into a matted frame. I mounted it so that you could see those edges. And this is what our little picture looks like. Everything looks better framed, guys. So it wasn't rocket science. But you can see where you could have a lot of fun with different medium. You know, if you had fancy metallic markers, or if you had some stamps, you could be stamping on this. You could just take corrugated cardboard and dip it into some ink so you get some edging. You could do anything with this. And I think that's the fun part of it, is it just gives you permission to kind of play, to create, to have fun. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no big rules. There's no right or wrong. There's no need to be able to paint. There's no need to be able to draw a couple of lines, some dots. It's whatever. And it turned out kind of cute. So let me know what you think of this one. Certainly let me know if you're going to give it a try. This is great, not just as a piece of framed art. You could do this on cards. You could do this on tags. You could do this on gift wrap. So if you wanted to get out a big sheet of paper and make your own gift wrap with just kind of some fun designs and do some mark making on that, whatever you want to do is perfectly okay with this. Love to hear from you as always, and I definitely look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care.